I'm Su Tao from Zhengjiagang. I got my master's degree in June 2017 and came to Shanghai. I've been working as a designer for municipal projects.
31-year-old Su Tao works at least 8.5 hours a day on Shanghai's municipal construction projects. And what he wants most after work is a cozy home.
When I was searching for a home on my own in July 2017, I looked at 10 or 20 apartments in Yangpu, but each of them wound up having notable shortcomings. And then I got the chance to apply for a public rental apartment. I'm just paying 2,500 yuan a month. Two of my colleagues also successfully applied for public rental apartments.
The past decade in China has seen two major reforms in the affordable housing development. The previous low-rent housing has been merged into the public rental project to streamline the application procedures. This has helped a larger group of residents, whether local or from outside the city, get a better living environment near the place they work, just like Su. And in Shanghai alone, there are now around 190,000 affordable rental apartments.
The previous low-rent housing was just to support low-income families. But after the merger of the projects, we can now cover low-income families, people with difficulties in housing, high-income talent, immigrant talent, and even some high-end overseas professionals. So far, we have almost 6,000 public rental apartments, which means we are serving several thousand talented individuals and plenty of companies.
But things were not all that easy at the beginning.
This was the first batch of public rental housing in Shanghai back at the end of 2011. And at that time, as the policy had just been launched, people were a little bit hesitant to accept it. Because in the past, Chinese people had a traditional concept, reluctance to rent apartments. So when we launched this project, we made a great effort on promotion to companies and industrial parks. We also made efforts to attract new shops and got the traffic police and the community to start a shuttle bus service. And the public rental housing projects are now so hot that the apartments are snapped up as soon as they become available.
Lin told me that anyone who is legally employed or has a residence permit in a district and is now living in housing of less than 15 square meters is qualified to apply for public rental housing, regardless of income level. The government has also been promoting the joint ownership housing projects where individuals are able to buy a new home with less money, but with limited rights to resell or rent it. Still, under the plan, buyers enjoy the same rights to household registration and children's schooling as other home buyers. In Shanghai, they're mostly gathered in suburban areas, and this is one of the largest affordable housing projects in the city. It covers an area of more than 6 square kilometers and is already home to almost 100,000 people. Almost half of the projects here are joint ownership housing.
All
the buildings you can see now belongs to our affordable housing project. We started construction in 2011, and now we are working on the 8th phase. There are now 31 schools in the community, including kindergartens, primary schools, middle schools, and high schools. There are also wet markets and senior centers here. Every year since 2013, we have been delivering new neighborhoods. And after the completion of all the neighborhoods, there are expected to be around 162,000 residents.
Strolling along the road in the autumn, and you are surrounded by the fragrance of the osmanthus flower. It spreads all through the neighborhoods and even into nearby homes. So the plants and public facilities here are not just a convenient place to live, but a better living environment.
I've been looking at joint ownership housing during the past few years, and I became qualified to apply this year. The price is very favorable for commuters like me, and the right to buy the rest of the ownership rights after 5 years is also a guarantee for us.
Affordable housing is not just tucked away in large residential compounds, but rather is spread across the city. Shanghai has been requiring all new commercial residential projects to allot no less than 5% of the construction area to affordable housing.
One of our projects in Zhangjiang has 30% of the construction area for affordable housing, and the rest have around 5%. Their external design and landscaping are all the same as the other housing.
Shanghai is accelerating its efforts in the affordable leasing market. More than 40% of the city's new housing supply during the 14th five-year period will be rental units.
I've been in Shanghai for 5 years. I got my residence, and I've also met my Mrs. Wright in the city. We live together in the public rental apartment now. It's very satisfying.
So the hope is that more people, particularly the newcomers and young residents, can now have a place to live in and live a better life in it. 张世璇, ICS for CGTN, Shanghai.